You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
Business Access TV comes to you from the 2018 staging of the PSOJ President's Forum Service Excellence Awards. I'm Javon Keys and we're here to bring you the highlights. Stay tuned.
The purpose of this award is really to raise the bar for service excellence in Jamaica. Organizations apply for the award, and what we have found over the years is that organizations improve significantly. See, when you go through a process of assessing your organization on very specific criteria, it opens your eyes as to what your strengths and the gaps are, and so companies work assiduously to improve on it. So over the years, we have seen an increase in the quality of the service delivered by the winners in this competition. First of all, they apply, and their application is screened. Once they are screened, if they score a particular score, then they are selected and shortlisted for a site visit. Now we have trained examiners who actually go into the organizations to assess the organization against these criteria, looking for objective evidence, because anybody can write anything on an application, but we have to look for the evidence, and then on the basis of that, the panel of assessors get together and submit a report to the panel of adjudicators, which are the judges, of which I'm the chief judge, and it's from that process we select the final winner in 3 categories: the large company, the medium-sized company, and the small company. Now this year we're also giving category awards because there are 7 categories against which the organization is assessed: leadership, customer charter and standards, training and capacity development, international benchmarks, monitoring and recognition, monitoring and measurements, recognition and reward, and complaints management. So we're giving awards in these because some companies excel in these areas and they might not win the big award, and so on the basis of that we figure that encouragement sweetens labor, so we give awards to those who merit it.
I'm just reminding you that we are in a context that does not afford us the luxury of behaving like savages, of doing whatever we want to do, whenever we want to do it, and of treating ourselves as dirt. This is not the world that we are going to succeed in if we are going to succeed. So, self-respect and a common belief in our country, a caring commitment to our fellow citizens, are a part of the underpinning of customer service, of good governance, that must be an essential part of whatever progress that we hope to make as a nation. We must develop ourselves to be people of our word, to keep our commitments, not to make throwaway promises every election time that we all know will never be kept, and we all know we won't ask to be committed, to be fulfilled. We must build institutions that are credible, that give value for money every time, that are honest stewards of our stakeholders' interests, that value transparency and accountability over individual or partisan interests. So, when in 2017, I spoke and said that 2018 would be a crossroads year, and that we must develop our human capital to support our economic reforms, I wasn't just talking about technical skills training. That is important, it's critical. But we must forge a new national culture of mindfulness of others, of self-respect, and of integrity. And I know I get controversial from time to time. And when I criticize the government or I criticize politicians, it's not partisan. It's not personal. It is just that they are our leaders and they are held to a higher standard of customer service. They are out there. They hold themselves out just like we do, just like every leader of company, every manager who is on the forefront of a company. You hold yourself out to uphold the values of that company which you promote. So that our leaders must obey a higher moral and legal code of governance for us to follow. Otherwise, no amount of economic progress will stop us from failing as a nation.
We're pleased to be a part of this event that celebrates customer service, an aspect of business that we believe is critical to ultimate survival and success of any venture. Rubis, as a proud member of the PSOJ, applauds the Jamaica Customer Service Association, Jackson, for this very worthwhile initiative. I commend the many local businesses that are being celebrated today for their commitment to excellence in service. It is important that we recognize and promote the need for quality customer service across all business sectors. At Rubis, we look at customer service in a very holistic way, where exceptional engagement can be experienced on multiple levels. We strive for quality customer interaction on the service station forecourts, as well as in our convenience stores. You may have noticed that Rubis is rolling out a new experience in retailing via our Ultra Shops, delivering a clean, well-lit, well-merchandised shopping experience, representative of the Rubis brand promise.
Mr. Mitchell spoke about mindfulness. What a way to begin. Raymond touched on transformational. Now those two things to me already mean something just by the mere fact I'm here today. Every time I sit in an audience such as this, I'm actually humbled. I'm humbled because when I listen to the person they're introducing, I wonder who they're talking about. Because I don't consider myself to be any different to anybody else who is in this room, regardless of what certification, education, and development you have. To me, we're all equal at the foot of the Lord. And so the Private Sector Service Excellence Awards is designed to help organizations improve service quality and to recognize the private sector organizations that consistently, and I'd like to advocate and say again the word consistently, deliver excellent customer service through a clearly defined strategic approach. The PSOJ and the JACSA are firm believers that the success of private sector organizations is dependent on consistent delivery of service excellence. Research has identified a positive correlation between customer service and customer satisfaction and profit and growth. The PSOJ and JACSA encourage companies to continue working towards improving their levels of customer service and to maintain service standards to further the growth and development of their organizations. Now, again, as I sat this morning and I listened to Mr. Mitchell, you really couldn't miss the fact that you're listening to someone, and even at the table that I'm fortunate to be seated at today, I'm surrounded by individuals that when you listen to them, they're all passionate about the reason why we're in this room this morning. So today I have bad news and good news. The bad news is, ladies and gentlemen, customer service is more and more becoming a lost art. Almost like sunken treasure on a ship. The good news is, you've all now just become Pirates of the Caribbean, and your job is to find this treasure and restore it to its original position, which means excellence has got to be the hallmark of what we do every day. From the simple things to the big things, it has to start somewhere. Service is the rent we pay for being. It is the very purpose of life and not something you do in your spare time. In most Western countries, service accounts for more than 75% of GDP, a share that will continue to increase. It is without a doubt that service is an important competitive advantage for many companies where differentiation is often achieved by service attributes provided. This is why you must find it and make it important in our society.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life, delighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show and Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV. Serious about business.
Now, this is the moment that many of us have come here for, in addition to the inductees and to hear Mr. Mitchell and to hear Dr. Brown. These are the award criteria. And I know we've been having a lot of discussions as to how is it that we are going to get service excellence to be embodied and entrenched in organizations and be woven into the very fabric and the DNA of the organization. This is it, folks. So it begins with leadership, strategy, and governance. This is what the organizations have been assessed on. Their customer service standards and customer service charter. The charter is your promise to the customers. the standards, how do you do what you do in order to deliver service excellence all the time. And these must be codified and lived and not be a paper tiger. We have found that the organizations that have people who have been given the responsibility to, one, live service excellence, train others in service excellence, monitor the whole business of service excellence and performance against standards. When you have a cadre of people who live it and monitor it and help people to improve, it is amazing to see the difference it makes in an organization. So the winners are, come on folks, drum roll, drum roll, drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. Yeah. We're going to start first with the category awards, and this year we made a decision to give category awards in the medium and small category and category awards in the large company. We have for leadership and strategy, Massey Gas Products. And in the large company category, Sagicor Group. And for monitoring and measurements, in the small medium category, we have Yellow Media Jamaica. We start with the overall winner in the small company category. May I invite Sarifa Insurance Brokers to join us. The large company winner, and that is Victoria Mutual Group. May I invite Miss Jennifer McDonald and Mr. Howard Mitchell to present a special award to Rubis Energy Jamaica for their consistent support in service excellence.
It's always a pleasure to be recognized by the PSOJ and Jamaica Customer Service. You know, I think this award is very timely for us. I mean, we entered in 2015 and 2016, we're also winners. We sat out last year and we came back again this year. So we're very appreciative of being recognized, as I said, from the PSOJ and Jamaica Customer Service Association in terms of what we're doing, not only for external customers, but for our internal customers, which is our team members. From the start, it's Sarifo. Service and technology has always been the forefront of what we do. You know, from the beginning, I told my team members, you know, we cannot see ourselves as a perpetual work in progress. So the last thing you want to do is to remain stagnant. I mean, we're in a dynamic world of technology. Things are changing, you know, every second, and we always have to be ahead of the game in terms of not only how we treat our customers in terms of service, but also technology in how we're delivering our service to our customers.
It's a fulfilling feeling because we have been a member of the PSOJ for a number of years, and anything that we can do to encourage quality, and in this particular case in customer service, is something we fully endorse. It's our lifeblood because, as you know, we are a retail organization. It means that we interact with thousands of customers on a daily basis, and we have to ensure that in our delivery that we're delivering best service at all times.
It is a fantastic feeling. In fact, this is our third time winning. We have won the 3 times we have entered, and it's really just a testament to our work. We value our customers. We believe we exist only because of our customers, and I think this is testament of our work. At GasPro, we believe at the end of the day it's about the customer, and it's because of the customer why we exist. So we really take this as a testament to our service of our customers who go from a 25 kg user in the hills of Clarendon to a big hotel on the North Coast, and we really value and celebrate what we have been able to do, and we are glad to have been recognized by our peers.
This is very important to us. This is really our means of supporting customer service excellence in Jamaica. We recognize that this service excellence event you know, is a major catalyst. It serves as a catalyst to encourage organizations to put in systems and processes in place to deliver excellent customer service. Because at the end of the day, customer service is a very important pillar in growing your business. And we're all operating in an environment that's in a global environment. And if we are to be competitive as companies in Jamaica, we have to see customer service as an important pillar. So we have been supporting this. It was easy for us really to make the decision to sponsor the awards, and we have been doing this for over 4 years. And we certainly enjoy this partnership with the Jamaica Customer Service Association and PSOJ. We are a proud member of the PSOJ, so we see this as, you know, our contribution to the organization of which we are a part.
I think we are getting there. I think we have just completed, we just ended the 3-year medium term, and I know that we are working with the PSOJ as they roll out the next 3. I think what you have seen today is an example of how companies have stepped up to the plate to offer good service, and not just to locally, but to internationally benchmarked standards. That is a part of the competition, the extent to which companies not only follow, but we can see that they are using international best practices. And so I think we have made a significant part of the journey. We are on a significant path. Of course, it needs to be improved because, you know, we spoke about mindfulness, we spoke about happiness, because at the end of the day, you cannot serve others if you are not mindful of them. You cannot serve others if you yourself are not confident and happy in yourself. And so I think that was a running theme this morning. None of the speakers collaborated, but you would have seen that the themes about service excellence, we're doing it to please you, because when you're happy, we're happy, and there are multitudes of effects that come after. They say what's measured gets done. And so you need to set targets, you need to monitor them, you need to train your staff, because especially if you're in a service industry, persons will be different. And so you cannot assume that you have trained them last year and so that is fine. You need continuous training, and you need to constantly review and upgrade your standards. While we're talking today at our table, we said a lot of managers need to find a way to walk around to find out what's happening on the line with your customers, because your managers and directors will tell you what they think you want to know or want to hear. So as a good manager, you need to ensure that the standards you've set, that they are actually being implemented.
Means a lot because it speaks to the very core of why we exist, right? Why the PSOJ exists. PSOJ is representative of the private sector, a majority of the private sector in Jamaica, and representative of the principles and ideals and interests of the private sector. And service excellence is very near and dear to our hearts, so we will support this and we will continue to support it. I would say that in Jamaica we have issues with how we treat each other, generally, and customer service is an aspect of that, okay? We have issues with governance, which is an aspect or includes customer service and customer obligations. So we do have an issue. The issue is not just about customer service. The issue is in how we are mindful of the interests of others.
It's amazing, amazing. Certainly when we came here this morning, we felt like winners coming into the room, just having been nominated. So the fact that we actually received 6 of the 7 awards and the overall award, I mean, it's just an amazing feeling. I don't think that I've quite come to grasp it as yet. We don't really want to give away all our secrets, but suffice it to say that we, about a year, maybe just over a year ago, we formed a customer service unit, and this really was done in order to give a strategic focus to customer experience across the VM group. So what we had were like, separate entities having their own standards, doing their own thing, and nobody really driving the strategy around service experience. So just over a year ago, I joined VM, about 18 months actually, and one of my mandates, which came from our group CEO, Courtney Campbell, was the establishment of this customer experience function, which we did. Recruited somebody to the position, Denise Williams, about a little over a year ago. And we have just been focused on establishing the standards, embedding new standards, monitoring the complaints, implementing a complaints management system. So for us in VM Group, we actually believe that we're just getting started. So to come away this morning with 6 awards, 6 category awards, and the overall award, we believe that that is just encouragement for us to continue on our journey and to really double down on what we're doing, because obviously we are doing something right.
And that's it from us here at the PSOJ President's Forum Service Excellence Awards 2018. I'm Javon Keys for Business Access TV, serious about business.
Welcome to Afrotherapy Hair Care Center.
I'm Pamela. I'm the manager of Afrotherapy Hair Care Center, International Stylist, London, Jamaica. We do kinky twists, we do braids, we do 2-strand twists, we cane roll, we do everything in natural hair.
With stylists exposed to years of hair care experience, you can be guaranteed superior service for all your hair care needs.
We deal with all type of hair, not just only locks or natural hair. We deal with everything. We do also relaxer hair. We do ear cut, we do Caucasian hair, and treat the hair. If you have damaged hair, we can repair it. Or if the condition is bad, we refer it to a dermatologist, and the consultation is free.
Interested in dreadlocks? No matter the type or length, Afrotherapy Hair Care Center has a service for you.
We do start locks, we do instant locks, and we do lock extension. And we also do, locks, so we color the locks, then we treat the locks, then we do build-up remover, because sometimes they have build-up on them here, where they're using the wrong product on the hair, so we do build-up remover. And with every locks, if they come in to do a lock style or to interlock them here, we always give them a treatment, complementary treatment with that.
Yeah man, Pam, I always love how my ear looking every time I come to Afrotherapy. You see me, I say, get my ear done proper and it just clean. Real ear stylist, Come check Pam.
Before, during, or after getting your hair taken care of, head over to the nail station for all your nail care needs.
We do nail services. We do like tip, acrylic, extension, and we do mani and pedi. We offer all type of nail care and nail services.
Afrotherapy Hair Care Center offers customers high-quality service in a clean and comfortable environment.
We're comfortable because we're fully AC, and we have the kind of comfortable seat for them. And we also serve them meantime they're waiting, they get a hot drink, like hot chocolate or water, ice water or anything to drink. But customer service is A1. We're located at 8 Upper West Henderson Boulevard, Greater Portmore, and the number is 368-3434, 949-4172.
On the penultimate day of October, we continue to put the spotlight on a few important observations in the month. The celebration of our heritage all month long has reaffirmed our appreciation for this little rock. As the pages turn today, we traverse the Yam Parish that has given birth to the fastest man alive. You don't want to miss that, so stay with us. I'm Adrian Atkinson, and this is Jamaica Magazine.
See Marcia husband, him a one of the biggest juggies.
Wait, somebody a scream.
Lord, them a bundle price to work and never pay the extortion money.
Who them man there? How would them a do with Jackie Liquidata?
It's serious times. Speak up for justice and keep your eyes open. When you hear about any crime, report it. Silence brings violence.
A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, October 30. 11 student nurses will receive critical care training under the Ministry of Health United Kingdom Bilateral Critical Care Training Program. The nurses will train for 7 months in Jamaica and another 5 in the UK. This follows a cohort of 18 nurses and 5 faculty staff who received training in China under a Memorandum of Understanding with that country. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says arrangements such as these will help to address the shortfall of critical care professionals in the sector. This, he says, is sometimes caused from migration of nurses to work in other countries.
Between the China-Jamaica MOU and the Jamaica-UK MOU, it has basically more than doubled the capacity, right? At least double, but I suspect more than double the capacity for critical care training for nurses in the country.
Dr. Tufton was addressing the opening ceremony for the Ministry of Health United Kingdom Bilateral Critical Care Training Program on Monday. He says its success will be used as a template to address shortfalls in other medical areas. These include specialist nurses in accident and emergency, nephrology and oncology, among others. The Health Minister says a report will be done at the end of the nurses' rotation, and this will be taken to the World Health Organization for analysis and used to generate a model for other nations. Special needs children in Western Jamaica now have access to psychoeducational evaluation. A diagnostic and early childhood intervention center was opened at the Sam Sharp Teachers College last Tuesday. Minister of Education, Senator Ruel Reid, says the facility was established because of the growing need for children to access early intervention programs.
I want to see that come back now, that we track every child that is born and make sure they are developing appropriately, and where there is need for early intervention, it takes place.
Senator Reid says students will be assessed at the facility, and where the need arises, treatment will continue at their schools. The center was established through a partnership with the Education Ministry, the National Education Trust, Food for the Poor, and the Program for the Advancement of Childhood Education in Canada. Government Senator Carencia Morrison is calling for a safe sex campaign to educate the nation's youth. She says such a campaign is necessary to address concerns about unsafe sexual practices and the risk of sexually transmitted infections among the youth.
Let us talk to our children about HIV and other sexually transmitted infections. HIV has gone nowhere. Go and do the research, and we should encourage them too. With a young generation, many of whose behavior is of grave concern, we need to address this issue.
Senator Morrison was making her contribution to the State of the Nation debate in the Senate on Friday. She asserted that if parents were unable to talk to their children about these issues, they should seek the help of counselors. And finally, the first direct flight from Russia in 4 years landed in Jamaica with 310 passengers and 17 crew members on Friday. Nordwind Airlines Airbus 322 from Moscow arrived at the Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay. For now, flights from Russia will arrive in the country once every 10 days, with plans to operate weekly. In welcoming the Russians, Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says Jamaica could be the multi-destination hub for for this side of the world.
Now you're flying to Jamaica, you're flying to Cuba, and you're flying to Domrep. Here is a wonderful opportunity for us to really pull that together and to offer to the Russian visitors multi-destination experiences.
This batch of Russians were the last to have required a visa to visit Jamaica. Recently, the government lifted the visa restrictions for Russians wishing to visit the country for leisure purposes and staying within 90 days. And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thank you for watching.
So here are the facts.
7 out of 10 Jamaicans die from a non-communicable disease.
Because we love our people and we want them to live better quality lives,
we, the Ministry of Health and our partners, are launching Jamaica Moves.
Jamaica Moves is a call to action to prevent non-communicable diseases.
By educating and encouraging Jamaicans to be active, eat healthy,
and start living 30 minutes at a time.
Because 30 minutes of physical activity each day, along with proper nutrition, can go a long way.
To prevent your risk from developing certain NCDs such as diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, and certain cancers.
And remember, it's life we're promoting. That's why you see me going hard right now.
I'm all about living.
So help us take this first step towards a healthier Jamaica so you can enjoy more moments, more memories, more life.
The talk of the town last week was the Prime Minister-led town hall meeting with residents of Heroes Circle and its environs. More on that and other matters coming out of Jamaica House next.
Prime Minister answers pertinent questions about the Houses of Parliament building, breaks ground for new community in St. Elizabeth, and...
My job is to make sure that Team Jamaica wins.
These and other news stories are next in Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Anthony Morgan. On Thursday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness hosted a town hall to discuss the planned development of the National Heroes Circle. He assured the gathering that they had nothing to fear from the plans.
Residents who will be affected should have no fear. The government will put in place a fair, that is equitable and transparent process to ensure that you are not disadvantaged.
Mr. Holness said while the Houses of Parliament complex would be built at Heroes Circle over the next few years, the 300 acres around the park will be developed in phases.
As your leader, I have taken a break from the history that has shaped our government, and I am here to put Jamaica on a new trajectory, a new pathway to progress and prosperity for all the people of Jamaica.
The Prime Minister also addressed the concerns of crab vendors on the outskirts of the park, as well as the vouch clinic, which is now inoperable.
Certainly, as it relates to the provision of health care, as has been mentioned, it is something that I will look into. My short answer is yes, they will be incorporated into the development here.
Ahead of Thursday's town hall, Mr. Holness met with the plenipotentiary representative of Singapore to CARICOM. The Prime Minister, who is chairman of CARICOM, and Ambassador Karen and Tan Ping Ming spoke about sharing experience on several matters. Among them, disaster risk management, public administration, urban planning, finance, information technology, and civil aviation.
If we don't run the NHT like a bank, then the NHT will not be able to deliver as they have been delivering on the demands and the requirements that we have placed on them. So I have put in place a board at the NHT that you could almost consider it to be a financial board.
Prime Minister Holness speaking to the governance structure in place at the National Housing Trust, NHT. He says that fine-tuned management has resulted in the agency delivering 892 housing solutions since April. An additional 4,144 homes will be made available by the end of March next year.
You have Shekels coming, that is in Clarendon, 48 units. You have Latium in St. James, 183 units. You have Twickenham 4, phase 4 in St. Catherine, that's 134 units. In Manchester, there is Perth 1A, that's 118 units to come. Then there is Fontabelle in Westmoreland, 355.
Other developments are planned for Manchester, Clarendon, Kingston and St. Andrew, as well as St. James. The Prime Minister was speaking at last Wednesday's groundbreaking ceremony for the Friendship Oaks Community Project. Phase 1 of the two-phased development will involve 229 serviced lots and 4.8 hectares for commercial use. The NHT development will cover 91 acres. Before that, the Prime Minister dispatched his Finance Minister to St. Anne for the passing out service of the latest batch of Jamaica National Service Corps recruits. At the October 20 event, Minister Nigel Clark announced that 1,500 more recruits would be trained under the program. He said they would be trained in 3 batches by October 2019.
We are indeed pleased by the progress that has been made in this program, and it has been so successful that the next cohort that's to begin training on the 28th of October will be the largest contingent of persons to ever be trained by the Jamaica Defense Force.
The 220 graduates are the 4th batch of Jamaica National Service Corps, and they underwent 16 weeks of rigorous training. And that's it for Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more of the news stories coming out of the Office of the Prime Minister.
When you're on the road, take your time. When you're on the road, bear this in mind. When you're on the road, you could save a life when you're on the road.
If you're a regular viewer of Jamaica Magazine, you would have realized that all month long we've been profiling cultural treasures across the country. That continues today as we journey round the bend to the home of Bendong Market. Let's go.
In Trelawny, there's a little of this and a little of that. So all you have to do is come discover and experience.
Okay. Rafting on the Matabele River is part of the offerings here in Trelawny. So when next you're in the parish, come on down. Captain JK, take it away.
Yeah, man. No lele. We don't play. This is how we stay. Everything gotta be okay.
High five.
Blessed. Yeah, man.
So how long have you been doing this for?
I've been doing this over 2 decades now.
Oh, 20 years.
So I know this stuff quite well, you know?
Okay.
But actually we're on the rapids now, you know?
Wait, stop. We can't end this moment so soon. No, sir. Hold this frame for a little while till we go check out some other places and come back.
Welcome to Falmouth Elite School, once the home of Fort Belcaris. This fort was built in 1811. It was built to protect the harbour and the town of Falmouth. Falmouth in those days was a boom town, boomy, it had a lot of money, and so persons would like to come in and plunder, so this was built. Soldiers were housed in the building at the back, and they were the ones who were manning the fort.
And this is where the armory was stored.
Now, in later years, the fort was used no more, and so in 1902, it became the Falmouth All-Age School.
Now check out this almond tree. It is said to have been around before or from the days of Fort Belcarres, which means it is well over 200 years.
This mill behind me here is a relic of the slave plantation and of the sugar production when sugar was king in the 18th century. It is part of a large estate called Holland Estate. The thing about it is, this property no longer belongs to a slave holder, no longer belongs to a sugar plantation, but is actually the site of William Knibb Memorial High School, named after the famous emancipator, William Knibb. It is quite ironic that in a place where slavery thrived and our forefathers suffered, now sits an institution of learning for the descendants of those very same slaves. Ironic, isn't it?
It's all about the nightlife here in Trelawney as well, where you can experience the colorful transformation of the glistening waters luminous lagoon.
To capture this part of my tour, I had to start the night before.
We do nightly boat rides. You can come on down and see the flashes of light once the water is being disturbed. We are the only natural night attraction in Jamaica, and it is also known as the world's famous luminous lagoon.
We had a magical experience tonight. It was a great time. Highly recommend it. We'll definitely be back.
Nothing like it in the world. I've never seen anything like this. So awesome time.
Glistening waters to the world.
You see why you have to come to Trelawney? And if bargain is what you want, then Bend Down is the place to be. Walk on, my friend. All right, tell me, what's so popular about Bend Down?
Bend Down, everybody can come here so can get cheap goods, cheap clothes, everything.
Oh, so how you get the name Bend Down?
People from all over Ireland, you know, just come here so they just throw down their things anywhere and sell.
Oh, and people used to have to just bend down and
people
pick up
just
the
bend
stuff
down
and
and
things
take
there.
up anything.
All right, so I'm here for some bargain, so maybe I should bend down and pick up mine. Bargain for real. $100, another 100, another 100, 300, and I'm going for more. All right, thanks. All right, thanks here.
I like my Parish Trelawney because the water is so cool, it's been cool and nice. And I like the environment is so clean and the new market is so amazing. That's why I love my Parish Trelawney. Big up Trelawney.
Here's more about this parish.
It's all about peace and tranquility, ambience and relaxation, you know? Yeah, man. Bless up.
After a long day exploring Trelawney, this is the perfect end. Just relaxing on the Martha Gray River. Until next time, when I catch you around the bend. Later.
Let's get a little breeze on this land. All right.
Now let's get some bounce in the rhythm. All right. Let's get some fire on our hearts. Now that is what we call all right. Run, come, get some Jamaica.
The tourism industry is the country's biggest foreign exchange earner. As such, work is apace to ensure that the industry is resilient against disruptions that may cause a fallout in visitor arrivals. Take a look.
It is the fastest growing industry, yet it is also the most vulnerable sector. One scare and people will stop traveling, an immediate standstill on planes taking off, and cruise ships remaining at port. To prevent a fallout in destination Jamaica, work is being embarked on to build a resilient tourism industry.
How do we build resilience, and how do we ensure that our destinations can respond to these global shocks and respond well to mitigate its impact, one, and two, to recover and recover fast from it, but to recover and build better. And I think therein lies the whole notion of resilience.
The ministry cannot prevent shocks from occurring, but systems and measures can be implemented to recover quickly from these difficulties. The stakeholders involved in building a resilient destination are working to do just that.
The resilience that we talk about has to begin with our human factor.
Human resource is Destination Jamaica's biggest asset. The workers of the industry represent the most iconic of all the attractions. Infusing those workers with the know-how to cater to the needs of their clientele is at the heart of initiatives such as the Jamaica Center of Tourism Innovation. The center has already graduated 150 first-world talents to fill top positions in the industry. The internationally certified Hospitality and Tourism Management Program is priming 650 students of 32 high schools to join those ranks in the future. Current tourism workers are also undergoing foreign language training to broaden the communication proficiency of sector employees.
The second, of course, is how to build. Whole business of building better and using better technology to build more climate resistant structures, and also to look at the issues of seismic involvement and how do we build against the seismic challenges that the Caribbean has.
The Port Royal earthquake experience, or even more recent, Hurricane Sandy of 2012 and others, have destroyed tourism havens and hideaways. Now, a collaborative effort is underway between architects and government ministries to develop sound human-made spaces that cater to the desires of visitors.
We don't have the responsibility for the actual build-out. What we have the duty to do is to bring to the attention of our technical partners the need for us to build in a certain way. And that's what we've been trying to do by way of the discussions that we have with investors who are coming in, as well as with our local town planners and the people who are involved in making approvals for business structures and for planning and so on. The other area of resilience is in terms now of our marketing. How do we build capacity to market against the new demographics that are emerging and the new psychographic profiles that are also out there?
In a data-driven era, the social space of the World Wide Web dictates what's hot, including must-go vacation spots. Marketing resilience is using data to make decisions on where to garner visitors and online shoppers. Like any good or item, Destination Jamaica is marketed through the click of a button. Technology is utilized to have greater access to far-flung markets where cultures, language, expectation, and experimental needs are different from Jamaica's.
And the final area that I believe we have to build resilience on is in terms of policy and governance. And this is a very important area because, you know, the world today is asking for a kind of governance that we've never seen before, born out of this new transparency that the technology is demanding.
With the world demanding a different kind of leadership, policies must be implemented to meet those requests. Tourism is more than sun, sand, and sea. It employs a large chunk of the workforce, thus providing foreign exchange earnings. For these reasons and more, it must be resilient.
Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it.
No dash no paper, no dash no plastic. Dispose your garbage responsibly. No know how to recycle, learn it quick. And if you drop it, better pick up every piece of it. Plastics last forever, don't forget the bits. Cause when them touch the street, them end up in the sea. Collect pan the reef where they fish them feed. And when you want seafood, I eat your
Keep eat. we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. No dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica.
This is where the magazine closes for today. Send us an email and give us your opinion on our Heritage Month Parish Travelogue series, Round the Bend. If you missed the parishes highlighted so far, click on our YouTube channel. They are posted there for your viewing pleasure. Until next time, I'm Adrian Atkins, and thank you for staying with us, and do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
Caring Hands Season 3 continues to effect change in a changing environment.
Many of us were raised by grandmothers, right? So, I mean, we know the wisdom that these people have.
Going beyond business.
The little leaders of today are our leaders of tomorrow. And with the proper education, we'll have very good leadership coming from that.
That's Season 3 of Caring Hands, creating change and shaping lives, every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Violence is bad. Violence against our innocent little children is terrible. Pretending not to notice when we know or suspect that a child is suffering is awful and morally wrong. In the words of the great Nelson Mandela, there can be no keener realization of a nation's soul than the way in which it treats its children. Think about that for a second. I have a voice. It's one of my gifts. I intend to use it on behalf of our children. No more violence against our children. Make your move to stop violence against our children right now. No more. No more. No more.
On this episode, Mackay talks to us about taking risks.
I've taken some huge financial risks over the years, but I would say the biggest risk probably would be picking up and moving my entire life to Jamaica.
The growth with ADS Global.
ADS over the past 3 years has really diversified its model.
And the biggest misconception that many may have about him, he finally puts to rest.
I think the biggest misconception that people have is that I'm this, big businessman from the United States that's very well off. I'm Ron McKay, CEO of ADS Global, co-founder of the company, a full-service contact center out of Montego Bay, and just last year became the new president for the American Chamber of Commerce here in Jamaica. Ron McKay's an entrepreneur that's trying to build a business, several businesses. Wants to have a lot of fun along the way, but also trying to make a difference along the way. I try to give back where I can and when I can to communities, and I try to surround myself with good people. And I think when you surround yourself with good people, you can not only get ahead in life, but bring a bunch of people to get ahead with life with you. I was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Grew up, both sides of my family came from migrant families. My mother's side from Italy, my father's side from Scotland. Both sets of grandparents and aunts and uncles, we all lived within one city block in brick row homes. And eventually my father and mother moved out of the city into the suburban area. Grew up at the Jersey Shore on the beach. Grew up a major sports fan of the Philadelphia teams. And essentially, my parents instilled in a very young age in me that you're gonna have to work hard for anything that you want to accomplish in life. They were both self-made people. My dad went through university on the Army bill for scholarship after being in the Army, and was at night work, actually raising 2 sons, and I was actually at his college graduation. My mother was a school teacher for 35 years, Catholic school teacher. And matter of fact, she was my 8th grade English teacher at one time, which was my toughest grade I ever got. And I always had jobs, always entrepreneurial based. I had the largest paper route in my neighborhood, worked after school as a stock boy in a retail store, worked the summers at restaurants down in the vacation resorts. Had my own Christmas tree business. We sold Christmas trees, and then eventually went on to Christian Brothers Academy, a private all-boys school in New Jersey for high school. Really, that's when I started to really learn some good values about, leadership, values and friendship, surrounding yourself with good people. And then went on to Villanova University outside of Philadelphia. Got into the real estate business while I was still at school. Rented homes back to my fellow students. I was in a landlord business. Became president of the basketball organization, traveled with the team for many years. Had a lot of fun with that, and then got into high-end luxury home building along the Jersey Shore, waterfront properties. And at age 22, amassed a very nice portfolio of real estate upon graduating university. And that was my first big experience at a very young age getting into the business world. I think the motivation for me was my father was a self-made business person, but he always worked for a big corporation. And growing up, he worked hard to give his children a great education and give his family a great home, and instilled those values in me. But also, I didn't get a chance to see him a lot. He was always traveling, or he'd come home late at night tired. And so at a very young age, I didn't want to go the traditional corporate business route like most 95% of my friends graduating and on-campus interviews. So at a young age, I was always looking for something I could do for myself. And that's where the entrepreneurial spirit came in. So that, you know what, sometimes you might have to work 60, 80 days a week. You might work 3 weeks without a day off. But then at least you're doing it for yourself and you're dictating the pace of where you go in life. I have a younger brother, 4 years younger. Lives still back in the Philadelphia area. Comes down to Jamaica a couple times a year, loves it down here. I have a lot of adopted family from the States because they all want to come down to Jamaica and then enjoy the weather. But yeah, just him and I, as far as a direct sibling. I got out of the real estate business not by choice. There was a banking crisis in the United States in the early 1990s. The savings and loan industry crashed, and basically real estate development became into a recession. I achieved success so fast and so soon at such an early age that I really never went and had to work within any type of structured framework, you know, 9 to 5, or commute on a train, or travel with a car like a lot of my friends had done out of university. I made my own schedule. And I never thought of life past real estate at that point. You know, I figured I'd just keep on doing this, you know, for the rest of my life. And so when that came down, I mean, and I lost everything, I felt like I had failed because I didn't have any type of plan B. It wasn't about failing in real estate because there were a lot of intangibles that much bigger business people than me, and the business their whole lives, you know, went under, bankrupt and things like that, and the government had to come in and redo the entire banking industry. I just felt like I had no vision to say, well, what if someday this isn't working, what would I do next? And I had a very difficult time redefining myself and what I wanted to do, because I had taken this path of, you know, I'm a very independent person, and then I thought, well, should I consider going to try to get a job, a traditional job? And I went through that period for a while, and it wasn't an easy period because I just felt like also a lot of people around me were encouraging me at a young age to do well, but there were a lot of people around me too, even people that consider themselves friends, who were thinking, you know, he's crazy, and then they were sort of waiting for it to fall apart. So I was also in that zone that I had to prove them wrong, but I wanted to make sure it was something that was sustainable, long-term. And that's really how I was feeling it at that time. I was, you know, a little bit lost. I didn't know where really to go. I knew I'd find something and rebound. I'm a very resilient person, but I also knew at that particular time I was at a major crossroads in my life at such a very young age. I've taken some huge financial risks over the years, but I would say the biggest risk probably would be picking up and moving my entire life to Jamaica.
Career Moves has always explored interesting careers, highlighting all you may not have known about them. This season is no different.
Coming back to Jamaica, everyone's like, Fizzy what? Fizzy who?
When you find a bright boy or girl in the class and people say, what are you going to be? The parents will say, you have to go be a doctor, you have to go be a lawyer. Nobody says you have to go be a politician.
Let me see your hands!
Tune in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life, highlighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
We are back with another exciting, innovative and inspiring season.
It takes a lot of stick-to-itiveness, being consistent and persistent in whatever you're doing. That's the bottom line.
Business exists to add value to people's lives. And if we're not doing that, might as well lock down the store and just call it a day.
It's a season 3 of Creating Wealth, Mondays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
We're taking you beyond our shores, across the region and around the world,
Every week, BATV gives you in-depth reporting on the major stories that gripped headlines in the Caribbean and on the international scene. Join us Sundays for This Week Abroad. Business Access TV, serious about business at home and abroad.
I was looking for something that was more, a business that was involved in more context that you could have more of a service-based business versus tangible assets like real estate. Something you could liquidate, something you could create a value towards in a much easier fashion. And at that time, they were breaking up Ma Bell in the United States, all the big telephone companies. And they were opening up opportunities for entrepreneurs in the telephone business. And I had done some research, and I got involved with a company called Amerivox, and they introduced the very first prepaid phone card to the United States. And I bought the distribution rights for Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and over a course of 3 years, we ramped that company up, pioneered the entire industry. Before then, the prepaid phone card didn't exist, and we sold that company off. And during that time period, got to meet a lot of celebrities, a lot of athletes, and I saw the power of merchandising by getting licensing agreements. We had agreements with the NFL players of football. We had Elvis Presley Enterprises, you know, all these different images that we would put on the cards, and that's how we drove our marketing. So I approached a bunch of the former NFL football players to say, why don't we start our own telephone company? And we started Eagle Communications out of Philadelphia, and that was my first real company that I owned myself, and it was like a full service, small, like a small Digicel, small, you know, cable and wireless in the Philadelphia area. I've taken some huge financial risks over the years, but I would say the biggest risk probably would be picking up and moving my entire life to Jamaica, because I had risks beyond just business. We moved to the Caribbean. The business moved probably about 14 years ago now, where we moved into the Eastern Caribbean. We built the very first call center in Guyana. We were the first privately funded call center company in Eastern Caribbean in St. Vincent and Grenada, and worked a little bit out of Barbados. And then eventually, 9 years, matter of fact, 9 years ago last week, we came up to Montego Bay. And then 6 years ago, one of the three partners passed away, and I decided to take a risk financially to buy his estate out and become a majority shareholder in the company. But I also knew to do that, I couldn't be commuting back and forth to Philadelphia and come down, because I used to run the client relations, the sales, the marketing, and we had a small office still up in Philadelphia. Then I realized I had to be very hands-on here to build the investment, protect the investment. And that was a big thing, because, you know, you're at that point in my life, I just turned 40, and to get up, you know, I always traveled, but to really live somewhere totally different, I would say that was the biggest risk I ever took. How we formed America Direct Services, ADS, at that time was we wanted people to know that even though the facility is outside the United States, everything is still directly tied to American operations, technology, account management, finance, the owners. So there was really a brand called America Direct Services to try to overcome at that time the challenge of people not wanting to give you business if you weren't located in the United States. And that's how we formed America Direct Services. Number one challenge was the price of data connections and broadband back then. When we first came into the Eastern Caribbean, Cable and Wireless had a monopoly. There was no Digicel, there was no Flow, Merit, Columbus. Our data connection was for what they call an E1 to the United States was over 30,000 US a month. So think about how much the prices have come down. To run a quarter-mile fiber or a quarter-mile conduit to your building, because they didn't have network like now, that would be $250,000 US just to do a quarter mile. So you had big, big infrastructure challenges in the middle and during then. And then the other thing was, as a whole, the Caribbean was moving from an agricultural, manufacturer-based labor force to a service-based, with tourism originally being the original flow, But the countries we were in weren't big, huge tourism-based products in the Eastern Caribbean. Of course, you know, Guyana not really being in that sector. So you had the challenge of the workforce understanding and educating and creating a pipeline of educated employees that understand the difference about working with a product or something they hold or out in the field or something, and working behind technology, interfacing with people all over the world that they may never meet. So that was a challenge also. And I think just as a whole, you know, living away from the United States of America and things you just become accustomed to every single day that you don't think about, you need to think about. I mean, even to this day here, you know, things that you just take for granted elsewhere, it's not part of your routine. You don't have to think about how to overcome it here, you know, and throughout the, you know, developing worlds. They become part of your checklist that you need to do for the day. You know? So those have been big challenges. I've become a lot more calmer though over the years. You know, I mean, I come from an Italian family and a Scotch family, so you have the emotion and you have the stubbornness. And it took me a long time to adjust to life down here. And you know, I think what really drives my life to be more patient is the people here as a whole are such a wholesome, good feeling vibe to the country and to the people. And I enjoy that. I enjoy the people factor. ADS over the past 3 years has really diversified its model. We've gone from traditional call center services, from 1 building to 2 buildings in Fairview and the Freeport and Montego Bay, to now offering traditional back office, BPO services. We do database management for Fortune 500 companies all over the world. We've now got into marketing for the tourism industry. So we have a sister company called Citico, which we're shareholders in, and we drive tourism-based marketing. One of our big clients here locally would be Palladium Resorts and Lucy. We also have clients where we've done now customized loyalty rewards programs. So we've built programs you'll hear soon for Digicel on travel and rewards side. We built technology solutions for companies like Mystic Mountain. So we're doing a lot here domestically that we haven't done in the past. So we've diversified to dealing with our global customers, but also our domestic-based customers, and moving the company into an area of back to really where I started, really, which would be, you know, the next, you know, tech-driven, the next growth area, but also taking the skill sets of what we are as a company and making sure we're putting the company in the right place for success. And that's, you know, a big reason why we got into the tourism-based part of the marketing business of the call center, tying in call center skill sets to tourism marketing, was that I saw a sales force, or I saw a skill set in my labor force that was comfortable. It was in their comfort zone to talk about tourism. So why not have a call center that's marketing tourism? Because now you get the best of both worlds for me as an owner to drive more business. So the tourism aspect, loyalty rewards, back office, database management, you're going to see a lot of that coming out of ADS. Social media management, business to business social media management, not what's going on Facebook and people having parties and posting photos. Taking people's profiles, market research, and saying, okay, you're trying to reach this particular type of person. I'm going to pull that data from the social media arena, like companies like LinkedIn and things like, and give you targeted customers. I think the biggest misconception that people have is that I'm this, you know, big businessman from the United States that's very well off.
There's only one recommendation for funding that is ever going to come from me, and that is funding from a bank.
This is the cost to build, and it includes every nail and screw for the building.
Our motto is building communities, building a nation.
Get in the know with the world of real estate with Business Access TV's Home Sweet Home, Sundays at 4:30 p.m.
Career Moves has always explored interesting careers, highlighting all you may not have known about them. This season is no different.
Coming back to Jamaica, everyone's like, fizzy what? Fizzy who?
When you find a bright boy or girl in the class and people say, what are you going to be? The parents will say, you have to go be a doctor, you have to go be a lawyer. Nobody says you have to go be a politician.
Let me see your hands!
Tune in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
We are back with another exciting, innovative, and inspiring season.
It takes a lot of stick-to-itiveness, being consistent and persistent in whatever you're doing. That's the bottom line.
Business exists to add value to people's lives. And if we're not doing that, might as well we lock down the store and just call it a day.
It's a season 3 of Creating Wealth, Mondays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Having a corporate event, seminar, awards show, conference, product launch, workshop, or expo? Business Access TV is here to showcase your event. Contact our sales department at 908-0919, 906-6357, or 908-2775 for more information. Business Access TV, serious about business.
I think the biggest misconception that people have is that I'm this, big businessman from the United States that's very well off. I could tell you right now that I work very hard for what we continue to achieve, and I have really changed my entire life to really make it. My life is in Jamaica, and for the people that know me, they know that. I mean, really, it's Jamaica first now, and the rest of the world second. And if you don't know me, people look at this guy who's the president of the American Chamber of Commerce, representing a lot of foreign investment. With the chamber itself has the word American in it, and having events with the embassy, and there's this aspect that they try to group you as an outsider or an expat, things like that. I consider myself a person living and building a life and business in Jamaica, trying to make a difference, and I don't like titles, or I don't like preconceived notions about people. I mean, and I think anyone that's ever heard me speak knows it comes from the heart. Yes, I want to be successful on all levels of success, but I define success, I think, now more than ever, on what I'm able to do to build a better life for myself and the people I care about, where I'm at. I always say a house is not a home. So that building I'm in, or that apartment I'm in, that's not my home. That's just a structure. A home is where you feel comfortable and you feel you have people around you that care about you and you care about. And I think that a lot of foreign businessmen that come down here get titled or pre-titled with certain stigmas that I don't think is fair. Now, a lot of them just go back and forth and never made a life here, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But there's a big group of us that made a life here. And we didn't do that because we inherited any money. We didn't do that because the government gave us any money. We did it out of pure hard work and saw an opportunity to make our lives better by being here. Well, I don't sleep, so I need to get up. If not, my mind just, goes on and on and on and on. I'm like a big computer server. The minute I lay down, it starts downloading everything from the day. Once it's downloaded, I'm already ready to turn it back on. And so I'm not a workaholic because I work hard to play hard. Anybody that's been around me knows that I like to have a good time, and I like to have a lot of people around me having a good time. I like to laugh at myself and be goofy, and dressing up as Santa Claus and acting like a goofball at a Christmas party in front of the business community. I enjoy that. My philanthropy work here started out very basic. We had a A couple of the managers that work for me at ADS Global said there was a career day, and they wanted to invite me to speak at their children's school. So I went up to the school, first time I'd ever been to a school here in Jamaica, and I fell in love with the kids. And I started thinking more and more about if I can make a difference in Jamaica, I need to make it with the children and the future of Jamaica. So the next thing, I started going around talking to the schools about GSATs, the week before GSATs, just to give the children a perspective of like, listen, you know, don't get yourself all worked up. You know, this is an opportunity, but you do your best and everything will work out. And there's life beyond next Tuesday when you take this test. And then that tied into falling in love with a certain school in Montego Bay called Supreme Prep, and spending time with them and helping them build a new room, put a new roof. And I sponsored an annual scholarship fund there in the name of Nelia Perrier, who's been a school teacher for over 50 years now in Jamaica. And then it went on to much bigger things. Now into AmJam, we formed our Committee for Community Affairs and Relations, and we're going to pick one charitable organization a year to help build and drive and support. And this year we're going to be doing Shelly Ann Fraser's organization, the Pocket Rocket Foundation for her. I like finding different levels of happiness. You know, it's not anymore about how much I'm worth or how big the company is. It's more about happiness. And I think I've narrowed how I define happiness to myself much less. It isn't such a big broad-based concept as it was 20 years ago. You know, if I get up and I enjoy the day, and I go to bed that night, and I enjoyed that day and what I did, and I enjoyed the people I had around me, that to me is happiness, you know. And what drives me is to be able to have more days like that and then turn days into weeks, weeks into months, months into years. Because it's not an easy thing to do. We deal with all the intangibles in life and challenges, and then we get away from the basics, which is, hey, listen, it doesn't matter how many employees you have, it doesn't matter how big the company, what you're worth, whatever. At the end of the day, you just want to get up and go to bed and enjoy life. And that's how I would say, that's what drives me. I would like to enjoy life even more.
Hello, my name is Blake Widmer. I'm the co-founder of Deaf Can Coffee. And the exposure that we had to the just general community through Business Access TV itself is awesome. It was a big deal for them, you know, having BATV come here, and we were with you guys for probably 4 hours that day. It was a long time. We really appreciate your guys' openness to recognize that, yeah, captions are important. If a deaf person's watching it, how are they gonna understand what's being said? So looking back is just a big boost, encouragement for our team. If you're a business or an organization that wants to have yourselves featured on BATV, or you want to do advertising with BATV, what I would tell them is that you guys listen well and you ask good questions, and that will help, at the end of the day, deliver a really good product for your business too.
Your business matters. Promote it on Business Access TV.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.
I am Shani Jajo, and you're watching Business Access.
You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access. Business Access. Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV. Serious
about business.
Serious about business.
It's the perfect place for professionals to be. All roads lead one way to one, networking with a purpose. Join us here on Business Access TV for the highlights.
Good evening, everybody. Evening. And welcome to Corporate Mingle, the GKI family. Welcome to everybody. We just want to quickly share with you our Premier Biz. So this is one of our new innovative solutions targeted at small businesses.
This week's edition of Corporate Mingle is brought to you courtesy of GK Insurance. That's Grace Kennedy Insurance. And with us now is the Assistant General Manager of GK Insurance, Shaluk Richards. Now, Shaluk, first and foremost, you've got a pretty good turnout here at 100. Are you satisfied with the numbers that you're seeing?
Yes, we are very satisfied. It's a lovely turnout. Corporate Mingle, an event that we tend to participate with and sponsor from time to time, and so we're very glad and happy with the turnout.
Why did GK Insurance take the decision to sponsor Corporate Mingle though? Is it part of your marketing strategy? Are you targeting a particular group of persons?
The product that we're pushing this afternoon is our Premier Biz, and so we expect that within the Corporate Mingle audience or participants would be a number of persons who, from the business community, be small, medium-sized business owners or persons who have small business owners as their clients. And so we wanted to engage with that segment of the market as we seek to bring a greater awareness to our product.
Now share with us a little bit about that Premier Biz feature that you have with GK Insurance.
Sure, so Premier Biz is a product that we've put together for specifically geared at the small and medium-sized entities. Now, it's an umbrella product, so instead of having to get individual insurance for the various classes that a business owner would normally needs, we put it together in one package for the business owner. And so we're talking about a combination of 7 different coverages. So we're talking about your business, so that there's a property coverage, the loss of money, employer's liability, public liability, goods in transit, personal accident. So we have a number of cover that is put together under this one umbrella so that the business owner has all the insurance coverage that they need without having to work it out for themselves.
So the obvious question is, would getting a package from their Premier Biz package, would that save a business money?
Definitely. One, it would save the small and medium-sized entities, save their money, but it will also provide them some coverage that sometimes they would not normally would have gone for as a small and a medium-sized entity. And so it's also looking after the best interest of the client and not just about the saving alone, but also how do we add value to the small business owner.
As a small business owner, would I be able to reduce the areas of coverage? So you made mention of, like, for example, like goods in transit. What if my business is around offering a service, so I don't necessarily have goods in transit? Can I say, hey, Premier Biz, I don't need the goods in transit bit. Can you tailor something specifically for me?
And I'm glad that you asked that, because especially the goods in transit is really specific to the nature of the business. And so yes, there's an opportunity to customize in relation to also increasing the limits. So say, for example, the amount of money that you manage is not at the standard limit that we have in the policy, and you want to increase that limit. We also allow you to increase that limit as well. So there are a lot of flexibility built in the design of the product.
So we're still here at Corporate Mingle, sponsored of course by GK Insurance, and we're speaking with Shaluk Richards, and he's the Assistant General Manager. Shaluk, so you're here at Corporate Mingle, you're sharing this information. We know we can find it online, but what's the next step for you in terms of where next are you touching to really reach out to those small businesses?
So we'll be participating in expos so as to engage these small business owners. We'll also have it online, so it's already on our website, but we'll also have it on social media as well. And so we're going targeted to where the small business owners are and also the persons who they engage with. So talk to their bankers, because they also get guidance from their bankers as well. So it's to engage with the persons who are supporting the small business sector.
Well, we wish you all the very best, and certainly to small businesses out there. Give GK Insurance a call. Visit them online at gkinsurance.com to find out about Premier Biz. You're watching Corporate Mingle right here on Business Access TV, serious about business. So Corporate Mingle just doesn't happen by itself. You have a really dedicated team working hard behind the scenes, working before the event to really make it a success. And one of those persons is Leighton Davis of Creative Media and Events. He's with us now. Leighton, so Corporate Mingle took a bit of a break for a while, but it's back. And the big question people want to know is they're hungry for Corporate Mingle. They want to know how often can we expect it?
Well, you know, we actually had one in February at ATL. It was a huge success. Over 200 persons came out. And I think the capacity for it kind of, it not surprised us, because, I mean, we've been keeping Corporate Mingle for over 7 years now. But I think the popularity has grown so much, and people, as you said, are so hungry. We have to find the right location. We chose 100 tonight, only because we wanted somewhere different. And in terms of how often, it depends on the sponsorship. Right. But right now we're looking at maybe quarterly or bi-monthly.
You made mention of sponsorship. GK Insurance is on board. How easy or difficult of a sell was it to get GK Insurance?
Not hard at all. I mean, GK has actually sponsored us about maybe 3 times already, not only in Kingston but in Montego Bay and Mandeville. So they had a promotion going on, and they gave us a call, and of course we're always ready to facilitate them because they're one of our partners.
Now, of course, companies don't just partner with you because they have some money just laying and not using. It's a part of a strategy for them. Right. Share with any potential business owners, companies, corporations looking on and say, hey, you know, why is Corporate Mingle a good vehicle for their brands?
Okay, well, I mean, Corporate Mingle is Jamaica's #1 networking event, and the longevity of it. But listen, once we put our Corporate Mingle on social media, no matter what day, I just said today's a Thursday, the first we ever kept on a Thursday, and over 100 odd persons are here. And we really started promoting this maybe 4 days ago. It's good value for money. It's what we call a ready-made chicken. Just like when you buy a rotisserie chicken, that's the concept. You sponsor the event and you get everything put together for you. Or you have to show up with your banners and you have an event with people here to sell your products and services too.
With that said though, my introduction suggested that, you know, you have a team working hard behind the scenes. How difficult or easy is it to pull everything together?
Right now, it's a little bit easier because we've done it for so long. We have a very good understanding. We have a template then that we work with, and our account executives, they work very hard behind the scenes. They put everything together. The key thing is working with our partners. So because it was the first time at 100, negotiating with them the terms and deals might have been the hardest part, but once we got over that hurdle, we're good to go.
All right, well, we wish you and the brand every success, and we look forward to the very next one.
Thank you. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Having come here, Marcel, were you able, or have you been able to identify persons who would fit your bill, so to speak, or are you the right fit for some other persons who want to do business with JN?
It's an interesting dynamic. I really was just coming here to just observe, but a lot of persons have approached me not knowing the capacity that I'm in, but I've made interesting links and contacts with persons, and I know for a fact that I'm coming away with fruitful information.
So for you, this visit to Corporate Mingle, you'd say has been a successful one, a rewarding one?
It's actually the best mingle, and it's not really for show, it's actually the best mingle that I've been to thus far.
A little birdie told me earlier that you won a prize for being here at Corporate Mingle. What prize did you win?
Early bird prize. It's a thing. I think in project management we're all affixed with time management. So I was actually the first person here. So I have to collect the prize and hug it up.
They say the early bird gets the most worms. So certainly that prize would have been one of those, eh?
Yeah, most definitely.
You're watching Corporate Mingle right here on Business Access TV, serious about business. We'll have more for you right after these messages.
taking you beyond our shores, across the region and around the world. Every week, BATV gives you in-depth reporting on the major stories that gripped headlines in the Caribbean and on the international scene.
Join us Sundays for This Week Abroad.
Business Access TV, serious about business at home and abroad.
Career Moves has always explored interesting careers, highlighting all you may not have known about them. This season is no different.
Coming back to Jamaica, everyone's like, fizzy what? Fizzy who?
When you find a bright boy or girl in the class and people say, what are you going to be? The parents say, you have to go be a doctor, you have to go be a lawyer. Nobody says you have to go be a politician.
Let me see your hands.
Tune in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Welcome back to our coverage of Corporate Mingle here at 100. That's 100 Hope Road. With us now is Alexis Chin, and she's a marketing manager. What's the crowd like? Are people coming out?
The crowd is amazing. I mean, we have everybody here. We have, of course, Jamaicans that just take over the sports lounge. So much so that we've opened up the terrace for lunchtime here. We have drink specials, and the feedback is really amazing, and we're just loving the vibe from everybody.
Let's talk about 100 generally, because this space is becoming known for having like corporate events. There have been a couple of album launches. I've seen comedy shows. I've seen live music. Just talk us through the variety of enticing opportunities for persons to come for business or pleasure.
Well, I mean, 100 is, it's like it's like an ultimate experience, an experience like you've never ever seen or heard of before. And we have a campaign running right now, a marketing campaign. It's called 100 Reasons, and this is just the answer to it. We have so much going on here. Every night of the week is a different event. Mondays we have crab night, Wednesdays we have our live night, Fridays we have fish fry, Saturdays we have Meritone here, and there's a lot more coming, and we have comedy on Tuesdays. I mean, this is the place that you want to bring your business members and have your meetings here. We have also companies that come here and they have their staff retreat here, and they take over the whole of the HDTV wall. It's just such an interactive place. There's just so much to do and so much that you can have here, and how to utilize this space is all up to you.
And once anyone wants to stop by, whether business or pleasure, or to make a booking, all they got to do is call 100 and ask for Alexis Chin.
Yes, or you can just call 100. That person that answers the phone will help you as well. Right. But any special events I can help anybody with.
As we continue here at Corporate Mingle, sponsored by GK Insurance, we've got the MC for the evening, Marlon Campbell. Marlon, Corporate Mingle has been off for a little while, but it's back with a bang. They've started with you, but just describe the atmosphere.
No, it's good. It's just like the old Corporate Mingles. You have lots of professionals here. Networking, it is the premier networking event in Jamaica. This is a Phoenix. It's really good. It's back.
Now, is Corporate Mingle something that you'd probably encourage business entities to sponsor, to be a part of?
Definitely. I mean, one, you're getting a captive audience of a lot of persons who you'd like is your target audience overall for most products, at least, right? And as for the persons, like the professionals and so forth, it's a good place to come because your network is your network, or whichever way they want to flip that. But yeah, it's Corporate Mingle. I recommend it to anyone, everyone. If you're a leader in business, you're just starting, whatever, you work forward. It's a very, very good event.
All right, well, we look forward to seeing you continue working in action. You're quite an impressive MC. When you have that microphone, you seem to come to life. I must pick your brain about that as well. Is this a lucrative income stream?
We're not going to talk about that, but let's just put it this way. It makes sense doing it. It makes sense to do it. And you know, I always tell people that I'm the antidote for a boring event. So if you want your event, have some fun, and you want your event be lively, call me. I won't let you down in that area. But yeah, an event like this is easy to MC, really. It's just about mingling with my peers and just having a conversation with them. So I'm glad I'm doing this one, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
All right, so it's the host with the most. It's Marlon Campbell, the MC here at Corporate Mingle. They say good things come in threes, and I'm pretty sure we found a good thing right here. We've got from my immediate right, Shauna, Nicolay, and Chantel, and they're all here at Corporate Mingle. Let's start with you though, Shauna. Corporate Mingle, a well-known brand, but why did you decide to come tonight?
I came tonight to basically meet new people in the corporate world, advertise my firm, and to make new friends.
All right, we'll talk a little more about your intentions of coming here. But Nicolay, how did you find out about Corporate Mingle tonight?
We found it on Facebook, which was very convenient to us, and we signed up, and we're here tonight.
All right, good stuff. Chantel, apparently you guys all roll together as a team. Describe your friendship or your association.
Well, we are partners. We have a law firm, Howell, Johnson and Lawrence. So this is Johnson, Lawrence, and I'm Howell. We also have a corporate services, HAL Corporate Services, and we intend to register a restaurant, HAL Restaurant and Lounge. So we are building an empire, HAL. So yes, this is the partners.
So I'm among some legal luminaries and
strong businesswomen. Yes.
All right, now describe your experience here. I mean, you're here obviously, as you mentioned, to promote your firm. Has it been productive for you so far?
Yes, it has been. I've met a couple of people. Yes, exchanged business information. It has been productive.
Can we expect moving on from here, probably in another year, maybe shorter, maybe longer, to hear of some project that was developed from meeting someone here?
Actually, yes, we met up with some realtors, so we can expect purchases and sales very soon. So the opportunities are really endless. There's a lot of different persons here with a lot of different business ideas that can be useful to us, and so far it's been very productive.
Now, is this a sort of setting that you'd encourage small businesses, micro enterprises to participate in?
Absolutely. Your business can't expand unless you network. So whatever events come out, network, meet people, build your business.
Well, I had no idea that I would have been talking to three of Jamaica's strongest, youngest businesswomen just like that right here at Corporate Mingle. So the firm, Howell, Johnson and Lawrence, and we've got Shauna, Nicolay, and Chantel right here at Corporate Mingle. So Corporate Mingle is all about professionals being able to network and integrate and meet with each other in a very cool open space. And here we have with us Mr. Ramon Walker. Now Ramon, just share with us a little bit about the business you represent. What do you do?
Well, I'm Ramon Walker, as you know, from Caribbean Assurance Brokers, and I'm an account executive. And we have a wide range of life, health, general insurance products available. I mean, just come to 94D Old Hope Road, right? And you'll be satisfied. That's all I can tell you.
All right, now
we always take our customers to the ultimate value-added experience. Right?
That's what you call a shameless plug. But let's talk about but Ramon, if you're into insurance, then a setting like Corporate Mingle is a natural place for you to want to be.
Yes, excellent, excellent. You know, because you're a lot of nice people here, you know. We're mingling, you know, making contacts. Whether you're building your brand, you're promoting your business, or you're linking up with a friend, you know, an associate.
Have you been able to do business as a result of attending Corporate Mingle?
Yes, definitely. And I would recommend it. I would recommend it every week, actually. Not every last Friday or every month, every week. Yeah. Right? At 100.
Especially at 100.
Especially at 100.
Just in case you missed Corporate Mingle, we've got all the highlights right here on Business Access TV. Stay tuned.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Business current affairs you can relate to. Frank, credible discussion. On point with Kalila Reynolds and Dennis Chung. Dissecting the issues, offering solutions to Jamaica's challenges. On Point, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
we are serious about the business of real estate. So catch Home Sweet Home Sundays at 4:30 p.m. or if you missed it, check our website at batvja.com.
Welcome back to Corporate Mingle right here on Business Access TV. Let's take a look at some of what you would have missed just in case you weren't here. Corporate Mingle attracts a wide variety of business professionals across a wide variety of business categories. One of them is security. This is Stephen Thompson of Stellar K9. Now, Stephen, let's share with us a little bit about what your business does.
All right, right now what we're doing, we're based out of the United States, and we're training police dogs and military dogs for the JCF and JDF in the detection of illicit contraband, firearms, explosives, tobacco, so forth.
How did you get involved in that type of business?
My dad was in the U.S. Air Force, and he was in charge of K9 for the Korean War and Vietnam. And we started a security company in '74. So from the day I was born, I grew up into it, and I just took it to a different level now.
Now, of course, dogs don't live forever, but all good dogs go to heaven. How do you get your dogs? Just share with us a little bit, give us a little more insight into the business.
All right, the dogs are sourced out of Europe, so from Czech Republic, Slovakia, Russia, and Germany.
Do you go for particular breeds, and are particular breeds of dogs better suited for this type of activity?
Correct. So we use the Belgian Malinois, German Shepherds, and Dutch Shepherds. Typically, where the world canining has gone to, it's those three breeds. They're smarter, they're more energetic, and they're bred specifically for working purposes.
So, now let me tell you, I grew up with a Labrador, and I love them. They wouldn't be quite suited for this, eh?
Labradors are very good dogs, but the terrain in Jamaica and how Jamaica has changed with the firearms that are coming in, we need a dog that is more likely to work longer and has that deterrent factor, because we all know Jamaicans hate dogs. Right. We'll take a gunshot before we take a dog bite.
As we continue here at Corporate Mingle, we're catching up with another young professional who has just come to meet, mix, and interact. With us now is Sarah Lou Walker. Sarah Lou, just share with us a little bit about what you do.
Okay, so I'm a paralegal assistant, and I work at a real estate law firm, and I run my own non-profit organization called the Angelic Ladies Society, where we offer empowerment, mentorship, and social enrichment sessions for the girls inside South Camp Rehabilitation Center.
All right, now you're here at Corporate Mingle. Why did you choose to attend?
So Corporate Mingle for me offers a little bit more than the regular networking events that I usually go to. I meet a lot more of the echelons in corporate society, where you get to network, find out what they're doing, as well as meet new budding entrepreneurs and see how best you can collaborate or partner with them and share your ideas. Also for me, it sparks creative ideas as to what else I can do.
Corporate Mingle has got to be the only event, the only networking event where you can come, interact with professionals, and also, well, get a massage. We're standing now with Nayoka Smiley of Adam and Eve Day Spa. You've got Amelia and O'Neill working. Why did you choose to come into the middle of this networking session to do massages?
Well, Adam and Eve understands the importance of brand recognition. We know that we have to place our brand in strategic position in order to get market share. And so therefore, everywhere you can find Adam and Eve Day Spa will pop up and offer complimentary services, because it's important.
Are you suggesting to me, Nayoka, that a business could probably call Adam and Eve Day Spa and go, hey, listen, we've got some stressed out people in our office. Could you come for 4 hours, 5 hours, and just take them through some nice massages to kind of relieve a little stress?
Certainly. We not only offer services in the spa, we do house calls, we do office visits. So if it is that you have a company, you have stressed staff, you can call us, we come all over, set up, and give your staff the massages.
What has the response been like when you do executions like this?
Oh my God, it's always overwhelming. Like, when are you coming back? When are you coming here? When are you coming there? It's always overwhelming because massages are very important. It relieves stress. We're living a stressful time. So therefore, massaging is very important and persons that enjoy getting a massage.
So once I'm through talking to you, then I can probably just go have a seat and have Amelia take care of my shoulders?
Most definitely, most definitely.
Can we expect to see Adam and Eve Day Spa at more corporate mingle events?
Certainly. We have always been in support of corporate mingles. We find it as a very interactive engagement, and we always like to interact with our clients. So therefore, we're always on board for corporate mingle.
Well, I'm going to relieve myself of some stress, courtesy of Adam and Eve Day Spa, and you should too. But guess what? You're missing out. Don't miss the next corporate mingle because they will be there. With us now is Larrick Green, and you're probably wondering, where are we talking to Larrick? Well, he was just in the Adam and Eve Day Spa massage chair. Now, why did you attend corporate mingle this evening? What's up your sleeve? Why did you choose to be here tonight?
Really, it's just to socialize, interact, build a network. I'm with an IT company called the Blue Chip Strategies, where I am pretty much the IT manager there. So I pretty much run the technical department. So I wanted to share more about our company, what we do, the partnerships that we have with the leading vendors in the industry, and to learn more about other companies and how we can open up revenue streams and have business coming through each other's doors.
With all you just mentioned in terms of your intention for coming here, have you been able to meet that? Have you met anybody here who your services can be supplied to their businesses or vice versa?
I do believe so. I've met some persons who are interested in IT services. In this day and age, everyone has a need for some sort of IT service. So whether it be disaster recovery, endpoint protection, or the hardware, because we're partners with Lenovo as well, there is somebody who has a need. And we've identified some persons so far, and we're very happy about that. Kudos to the organizers of the event.
Of course, Larrick Green of Blue Chip Strategies. Take a look right here at Corporate Mingle. What type of business are you in?
We're in graphic designing and printing.
What's the name of your company?
Crystal Cameron Designs. Graphic design is our niche product, and we specialize in interactive designs. So we're not just your regular graphic designer. We actually are targeting clients who wants to do email marketing on campaigns and want everything. So our newest product is eSavvy, and our tagline for that is designs that click.
Yeah, I like the use of that pun. Have you been able, since being here this evening, to secure clients or persons who are at least interested in following up with you?
Yes, we have been able to secure people who are interested in looking at our products and see if there are any opportunities.
And let me ask the flip side of that. Have you met anyone who can help your business to expand?
Absolutely. We have met people who I can see that going down the road, these are useful people that we can use to grow our business.
Awesome. So we've done all this business bit. Let's get into the pleasure side of things, because you were just in the chair just now. Describe your experience in that Adam and Eve Day Spa chair.
The experience has left me sitting the interview out, and my body is so relaxed. I don't know if your viewers can see the glisten, the glow. And to see this is not tired by any chance. This is just a great sense of relaxation that has come over my body. O'Neill, who was my masseuse, he's like the massage whisperer.
We're pretty much back where we started, except that the difference now, the place is lit. Like, literally, it really is lit. So there are lots of folks on the inside of Corporate Mingle. Over 100 persons came out tonight for Corporate Mingle. Networking with a Purpose was brought to you, of course, by Creative Media and Events, and sponsored by GK Insurance. Thanks for joining us right here on Business Access TV. Serious about business.
Historically, in Western societies, the focus of genealogy was on the kinship and descent of rulers and nobles, often arguing or demonstrating the legitimacy of claims to wealth and power. Some family trees have been maintained for considerable periods. One such is the family tree of Confucius, which has been maintained for over 2,500 years and is listed in the Guinness Book of World Records as the largest extant family tree. In modern times, genealogy became more widespread, with commoners as well as nobility researching and maintaining their family trees. So we decided to look closer at this field on this episode of Career Moves.
My name is Latoya Williams, and I'm a genealogist. Genealogy is the study of lineage, pedigrees, so to speak. We research family histories all the way back as far as their records, and we use original sourced records or derivative records.
Can you trace your family tree? Who are your ancestors? Were they famous? Where did they come from? Well, if you want to know more about your family history, then a genealogist can help.
A genealogist is someone who undertakes professional level research for family history. And so that means they research record groups, and there are several types: vital records, immigration records, census records, electoral records, town histories, city directories, and the list goes on. There are several more, but they try to find evidence from this, and they link families throughout the generations.
It's said anyone can become a genealogist, so Latoya tells us just how.
Generally, anyone can become a genealogist. It doesn't matter if they're young or old. However, a lot of genealogists are older. They've normally amassed many years' experience, partially because they are researching their own family history. But you have a lot of genealogists who are excited by the profession. The preponderance of TV shows and all of these other things have made people more aware of the profession, and they want to enter into it too. So we have a good balance.
I actually want to introduce you to your grandfather, Walter Owen.
So I've never seen him or know anything about him. It's just amazing.
Many genealogists work from home, except if they belong to larger, more established firms, and that's not necessarily the case in Jamaica. Most individuals here are private researchers, but a genealogist is not limited to just their home, because they're required to go out into the field and do research. They visit records office like the RGD. They might visit the family history centers like the LDS Family History Center, the National Library, National Land Agency. They visit subjects out in the field, people who they're searching for. So they might have a pretty much like a hill and gully ride experience when they go out there. I think people choose to become genealogists if they're bitten by the bug, so to speak. You have to have a sense of mystery. You want to solve puzzles, to be a sleuth, so to speak, because genealogy is all about research work, investigative work, and history too.
Latoya speaks to how the profession grew on her.
I grew up Anglican, and as you know, a feature of the Anglican churches is the graveyards that are right around the property. So we'd play among the graves when we were younger, and I would always look at them and look for the oldest that I could see. Somebody born in 1790 or 1820, and I thought, wow, wonder what it was like for them growing up then. And so from a very young age, even before I knew myself, I had that mystery, that wonder, that awe about people who died and their lives. I wanted to explore this a little bit more. I think when I was about 10 to 13, I had an impression that, and I know it's funny, but I thought I was an African princess, somebody who had royal lineage, and I said, you know what, I'd love to be able to find that out. And I decided that if I had an opportunity, I would pursue it. I would find out all the way back to my lineage in Africa if I could, and other places. When I was older, my mother brought me to a family funeral. Her uncle Nathaniel had died, and this was giving me a bit clarity, and it was the first time we were actually going there. And I just said, you know what, I don't think anybody else is going to do this. I need to be the family historian. And from then on, I decided to actively begin the research process. And it was very discouraging at first because I could find no records. And people weren't necessarily open to speaking about the family so much. I think it's because of, you know, how they grew up. In Jamaica, we do have this thing where don't ask questions, don't really talk about people's names or so. So for me, that was difficult. It wasn't until some years later that I was able to get somewhere when it came onto the records. Last year, Brigham Young University unrolled a core of programs here in Jamaica and in the rest of the Caribbean, and genealogy research was a part of it. I was doing genealogy research just as best as we could with the resources that were there, but I decided that it was time to enroll in the course and do exactly what I wanted to do. So I started about 14 years ago, from the time of that funeral until now, applying the knowledge. I applied it to my own family tree at first, you know, looking at the different sections, and I've been able to find some wonderful things since then, things that have inspired me. And I see a change in my family now too, where they really want to help in this process. Whatever information you require, they try to assist you as opposed to before.
She also shares with us what goes on in the day-to-day affairs of a genealogist.
So we might have consultations with clients. From our consultation, we will determine what exactly the client wants to pursue. So we come up with what you call the research questions, and we decide what strategy is best to employ to getting those results, what record sets to look up, where to go to get the information, who to contact, and whether or not, from the original scoping, if we're going to go out into the field and do interviews for that family or videos or so. Genealogists and family historians are the keepers of generations. We provide answers to some of mankind's most pressing questions, that of who am I, where did my people come from?
You see island I wear, them are the best thing in the island I swear. Everywhere in the island I hear. Everybody with a eye problem, them a talk about the place name island I wear. Them a say, island I wear. Them a say, island I wear. Everybody with a eye problem, them a talk about island I wear.
Island Eyewear offers free eye testing every day, all day, at all locations island-wide. Conditions apply.
Island I wear. Everybody with a eye problem, them a talk about island I wear.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
there's only one recommendation for funding that is ever going to come from me, and that is funding from a bank.
This is the cost to build, and it includes every nail and screw for the building.
Our motto is building communities, building a nation.
Get in the know with the world of real estate with Business Access TV's Home Sweet Home, Sundays at 4:30 p.m.
Yes, I would. To get a better understanding of who I am as a person.
Yes, I would, because actually it helps us to get closer to our families, and actually when you go to like the family center, it helps us to know the history of our families.
You know, thinking about families, you get to learn all their cultures and all the food that they eat and how they dress. You know, someday I want to have a family and I'll be able to share with my family all these details of my past family life.
Of course, family history is wonderful. You get to learn more about family, because family is so important. Without family, who are we?
Most definitely. I knew I had a sister who passed before I was born. But the first time I saw her name in a document just excited me, and I made a connection with her right then and there.
It really makes a lot of sense when you understand, you know, where you came from, when you understand, you know, a little bit more about your ancestors. Sometimes you may find that, you know, you have things in common with them. You know, that's why I love learning about them, because it just makes sense.
For those on the path of or thinking of becoming a certified genealogist, Latoya gives us the prerequisites.
Well, every university program, they have their rudimentary subjects. You do need a good grasp of English because you write a lot of reports. You need to be able to reason well, and so the math calculus courses would be very beneficial to you. It would exercise that reasoning ability. But history, I would think a prerequisite. Though in the course they would teach you about whatever type of history you're looking at. So if you're doing German records, you're going to go into German history. Part of the course is you finding information along the way to assist you to complete the case studies. Other people can get involved in genealogy too. For example, genetic scientists. There is the whole DNA aspect where from a biological standpoint they can go into that too.
But just what goes into training?
You have different types of genealogists. Professional genealogists, which is more of where I'm going, they do study. So there is training, specialized training, which can be done through, for example, Family Search has a training program. There are also other programs like Brigham Young University. I'm doing Brigham Young University in particular, and their family history research degree. And after that, I intend to get the international certification, the board certification for genealogists, and the International Commission of Accredited Genealogists certifications. Those require a series of exams and case studies to be submitted, pay those fees, and we wait on the report from the board to see if you will be accredited in that particular area. And so it's not just a broad certification. Is it British, the British Isles? Is it American genealogy? Is it Swedish? Is it German? You know? And currently there are no accredited internationally certified genealogists in the Caribbean, and so I'm on track to becoming the first to do that. What goes on in training? It is a lot of reading. It is a lot of work. It is a professional degree in research, and so the standards are very high and they must be upheld. You're looking for evidence and ways to support that evidence, and it requires going on a lot of different websites, databases to be linked to those in particular. And we're talking during the course of 1 week of study, you might have to visit 20 different sites, pages, to just go through the topic, because how do you do census records and in particular, and they might not be focused on the Caribbean, they might be focused on the US, and all the different states have, you know, different requirements. So in this training, it's for a worldwide program. It's not just limited to Jamaica. In fact, it's not specific to it. You will have to further do research and apply it here. I'm currently enrolled in the Brigham Young University, Idaho Family History Research program. I'm doing an applied associate of science, and it's 60 credits. It takes between 2 to 3 years to complete. I'm currently doing it online, but part of the course requires you to do residency. And so for the first year, I had to go to the center once every week and gather with other people to complete the foundation courses. And then for the second year, that's when you meet your international classroom and your course instructor, and you go through a series of courses. After I complete my studies, I will have a applied associates in family history research, and then I will further apply for the board certification for genealogists.
Latoya says there aren't many universities offering programs for the genealogical studies.
For the most part, it's Boston University that has a program, a certificate program, and Brigham Young University, they're pretty much the leaders in providing this. This is why, for the most part, genealogists seek board certification or other commission training.
Apart from digging up the past, what other purpose do they serve?
I think historians are the keepers of records. I think genealogists and family historians are the keepers of generations. We provide a link between families from the earliest of times to now. We provide answers to some of mankind's most pressing questions. That's of, who am I? Where did my people come from? And what are their stories? And especially for people of Caribbean descent, we are detached in a sense from our motherlands, and it's not just for those of African ancestry, but Chinese and Indian. We came here through difficult migrations or forced migrations, and we want a sense of ancestral pride. Genealogists and family historians can provide that for this displaced population.
Even with the service they provide, their demand in Jamaica is limited.
I'm a business researcher by profession, and I delved into genealogy research because there is the opportunity. But by no means do I not understand that you have to create your own market. It is not exactly very easy for genealogists in Jamaica or the Caribbean to find a lot of work because our population, they're not so aware of the need for genealogy research, not as yet. What happens is, internationally, genealogy, family history work is exploding. People are so excited. There are a preponderance of shows. Where did I come from? Who am I? You know, roots. And I do see that that will blossom, the demand for it, but it's not exactly no. So you might want to have additional options or sources of income while you pursue this. It's a passion. And if you enter into this field, genealogy research, you have to be prepared to develop the market and to wait until it's ready.
However, she highlights that job security is a sure thing.
There is some means of job security in this field, mainly because you would start your own genealogical practice. And in that, as long as you maintain a steady flow of clients, you will be fine. People believe that once you're asking family history research questions, it's about money. Oh, there's a will, I can get money. I mean, in some cases, especially in the US, where they have laws to encourage that sort of thing, where they find the heirs, then that can be the case.
We're taking you beyond our shores, across the region and around the world. Every week, BATV gives you in-depth reporting on the major stories that gripped headlines in the Caribbean and on the international scene. Join us Sundays for This Week Abroad. Business Access TV, serious about business at home and abroad.
Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
This is Weekend Business Report. Economic windfall.
Unsecured loans.
Alleged corruption.
Follows the closure.
If they made this investment.
Brokers
strive to increase revenues.
He sought some answers.
Financial meltdown.
Here are the week's final. Here's Garth. News Roundup.
Camille, it's back to you.
That's Weekend Business Report with me, Keneal Gale. Saturdays and Sundays.
Having a corporate event, seminar, awards show, conference, product launch, workshop or expo? Business Access TV is here to showcase your event. Contact our sales department at 908-0919, 906-6357 or 908-2775 for more information. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Go for God Family Church.
Today's message is for those of you who thought that Jesus was finished.
Inspiring messages.
I'm here to tell you today that you are excellent. God is excellent.
Empowerment from biblical motivation.
To be glorified means to endow with authority. A woman is a powerful, creative being.
Join Pastor Christopher Morgan and the Go for God team as we go for God.
The skills are many, and each genealogist may have their own, but Latoya shares a few she sees as important.
A genealogist needs to be sharp, literally have above average reasoning, because you are solving decades old, hundreds of years old mysteries, and you're not doing it with perfect information at all. A genealogist would have to have an appreciation of history and culture, societal rules of the time, paleography, which is handwriting, so it's being able to interpret ancient or old handwritings, even scripts, in a sense that you can understand what they really mean, even in a time like even now.
Due to the limited information about the field, Latoya says it's underutilized.
I definitely don't believe this field is fully utilized in Jamaica. I don't think there's much awareness of genealogy research, and as a consequence, a lot of our families are not as connected as they could be. There are few genealogists here in Jamaica. There is a bit of a market, mainly because more and more people are becoming aware of and are demanding to have this service performed, but it's not the biggest market at this point in time. Hopefully we'll see it grow with awareness programs and just because the demand worldwide is skyrocketing, that our people here will catch on too.
She demystifies some of the myths.
People have some misconceptions about genealogy research. One, some people believe anybody can do it. And I think while anybody with some amount of skill can look up a record in a database, a basic record, a genealogist does way more than that. A genealogist stakes their reputation, so to speak, on the accuracy of the records that they can find. It is a professional designation with professional accreditation and degrees, and it's something that should be sought after. And only people with an aptitude to bury themselves in hours and hours of research work daily, should really strive to do this. Additionally, people believe that once you're asking family history research questions, it's about money. Oh, there's a will, I can get money. I mean, in some cases, especially in the US, where they have laws to encourage that sort of thing, where they find the heirs, then that can be the case. But for the most part, the treasure in family history research is in the information, it's in the ability to bring the families closer together. It's in giving that sense of pride to someone who has none.
We also hear of some of the opportunities within this field.
You know, one great opportunity that you have when you study genealogy research is to be able to work anywhere in the world. As long as you have that international accreditation or certification, even if the work is not present here in Jamaica, it doesn't stop you from doing German research or American research or some other country. There are opportunities too for programmers. You know, genealogy is backed, especially now, by technology to an unprecedented degree. So most jobs for genealogy firms, they require software engineering backgrounds because they power these powerful databases and family trees. DNA in particular, it's becoming so popular. Everyone wants to do a DNA test to find out, you know, where exactly that far-flung relative is. And so if you're a genetic scientist, you can find your way into genealogy that way.
Nearly all genealogists are self-employed. Most work on a part-time basis for private clients, and so the compensation, as Latoya tells us, varies.
Compensation for genealogists, it really is an absolute wide range. In particular, most of our clients would be people from in the diaspora outside of Jamaica, and in America in particular, and I can speak to their rates because those are published, it's between $20 to $100 US an hour to hire genealogists. And there is a great range because of, it depends on how many years of experience a genealogist will have. Some of them will be PhD candidates, professors, people who lecture on the subject, and it can be all the way down to record searchers. The job outlook for genealogists, it's looking up. Here in Jamaica, it's probably a little slower than other professions. But if you do study this, you should have an eye to not just work here, but to work even remotely abroad.
If you're still wondering about your roots and have a desired interest, you may gain something from Latoya's advice.
If you have a passion for history and family history, then this might be the profession for you. Utilize your skills, you know, in other areas. You might have studied something else in university and you want to find a creative way to utilize those skills, be it in software development, history or library science. You know, there are areas in genealogy that you can look at, and don't just do it casually. Start there, but pursue some certification so that you might be able to keep up the standard within the profession.
As a teacher for over 8 years, we need to realize that the children are our future. We need to love them, appreciate and respect our children. No more violence against children. No more!
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.
My name is Levon Flynn, and you're watching Business Access TV. Serious about business.
The eyebrows shape the human face and give definition to one's eyes and forehead. Since the growth of the makeup industry, people spend more time getting it right. This week we look at eyebrows, not just how to get them on fleek, but also how to take care of them.
Welcome to The Good Life, Nicole.
Thank you for having me.
And thanks for having us. So today we're talking about eyebrows. Why are the eyebrows such an important part of the makeup process?
Well, the eyebrows help to frame the face. So you find sometimes if the eyebrow is off, it tends to alter the shape of the face. It's good to have them looking like sisters or not twins. Sometimes, you know, there's hair missing, or, you know, people go to the barber or the salon and they tend to mess it up.
When doing eyebrows, what issues usually come to the forefront? Or what issues do customers usually come in with?
The biggest issue is thin eyebrows. I find that persons who go to the barber, they tend to thin out the eyebrows, and that's not a trend right now. The trend now is to have full, thick eyebrows.
Right.
So that is the main issue. You know, you tend to go along with the natural shape of the brow, but it can be enhanced.
Okay.
You know, so you fill in accordingly.
On my own, feeling confused, I'm slightly amused by it all. I'm wavy, you have no control. My mind is blossoming lately. You think you're the wave, I beg to differ. I inherited the wave.
Okay, so what are some tips in regards to picking colors to match your brows?
Well, it depends on the look that you're going for. Some people tend to like a lighter brow. Some people like a darker brow. So it really depends on the mood and the look that you're going for. For a daytime look, I would suggest a lighter brow, probably 1 or 2 shades lighter. That can be achieved by using a brow gel, or you can also use a lighter powder or a pencil.
Okay.
For the nighttime, you can go a little bit darker, you know, because you might be sweating and so on, so you want the eyebrows to still be there.
So you didn't trim or tweeze my eyebrows prior to filling them in. Is that something that you normally do, or you just leave it up to the client to groom their own eyebrows?
I usually ask the clients to come with a clean brow because personally I've had bad experiences with makeup artists. Well, in my experience, that they fill in the eyebrows first and then they decide to take out what is left. So when I went home, I didn't have any eyebrows left and I was mad. So I usually tell persons to go to the regular eyebrow specialist, have it done before you come to me.
What about those people who don't tweeze or wax and have more of a natural eyebrow, literally where they don't touch it?
An eyebrow can be created for everybody, whether it's full, thick, thin. So it really doesn't matter.
Talk to us about the steps when, you know, filling in and highlighting your eyebrows. How do you go about doing that?
Okay, first, I tend to analyze the brow to see where it needs filling in and how I'm going to approach it, if I'm going to use a powder or if I'm going to use a gel. So for Amita, she has thick brows. So first we start to comb through. We comb upwards and then we go across. And then the angle brush, and we use it with a powder. And we started to fill in the areas that needed powder. Following the natural arch right through. Adding a little tail because at the end here she doesn't have a lot of hair, so we just added a little tail to finish it off. Sometimes if you use a powder or the pencil, sometimes too much product comes off. So what we use is a spoolie to just brush through, just to ensure that everything is even. After that, we used a flat brush with concealer, two shades lighter than your complexion, to give a little highlight under the brow and to also clean up, because sometimes we get a little carried away with the line. So we use the angle brush and we move along the bottom line of the brow, and then we blend it out. You can use your finger or a blending brush to just blend out the product. Above the brow is optional. Sometimes I see people out on the road with this white halo above the brow. I don't think that's very attractive. So what I tend to use is foundation, or I use the gel liner at the top with the same angle brush to just fill in accordingly. And we can brush through again with the spoolie. Like I said, if you want a lighter brow, you can use a brow gel, or you can leave it.
So it seems like, you know, there are a few steps involved and a few different products. How time consuming is, you know, doing your eyebrows?
I would say that eyebrows take probably 10 minutes if you know what you're doing. I see persons watching YouTube videos, etc., but it really comes down to practice. It shouldn't take longer than 10 minutes. Not a lot of products are involved. So yeah, 10 minutes should be good enough.
'Cause I'm whipping it like I'm cocaine, leaning oh so far. I'm over the limit, can stop it, I'm soaring, I'm leaning up, laughing, I'm going under, 'cause
Well, that's one technique to get your eyebrows on fleek. When we come back, we will check out another growing eyebrow trend.
Home is where all the sweetness, silliness, and beauty of life happens. Discover your style and express yourself with furniture from the Ashley Furniture Home Store. Visit any of our 2 locations at Ligony Kingston or Fairview Montego Bay. Find the most exquisite range of furniture in varying styles to suit your needs. So tell your story with elegant and affordable lounge, bedroom, dining pieces, and more from the Ashley Furniture Home Store. Here at Ashley, this is home.
As the end of the year draws nigh and the celebrations begin, let us add some magic to the festivities with our BATV Christmas mix. Why settle for blah when you can have fa la 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 la? 60 advertising spots, 10 cross spots. This $1.6 million package is all yours for only $45,000. Don't wait. Contact our sales team today and take advantage of this incredible offer. Our gift to you. BATV Christmas Mix. Offer valid until December 31, 2018.
Caring Hands Season 3 continues to effect change in a changing environment.
Many of us were raised by grandmothers, right? So, I mean, we know the wisdom that these people have.
Going beyond business.
The little leaders of today are our leaders of tomorrow. And with the proper education, we'll have very good leadership coming from that.
That's Season 3 of Caring Hands, creating change and shaping lives, every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
We're taking you beyond our shores, across the region and around the world. Every week, BATV gives you in-depth reporting on the major stories that gripped headlines in the Caribbean and on the international scene. Join us Sundays for This Week Abroad. Business Access TV, serious about business at home and abroad.
This is Weekend and Business Report. Economic windfall.
Unsecured loans.
Alleged corruption.
Follows the closure.
If they made this investment,
Brokers
strive to increase revenues.
He sought some answers.
Financial meltdown.
Here are the week's final Here's Gar. News Roundup.
Camille, it's back to you.
That's Weekend Business Report with me, Keneal Gale, Saturdays and Sundays.
Business current affairs you can relate to. Frank, credible discussion. On point with Kalila Reynolds and Dennis Chung. Dissecting the issues, offering solutions to Jamaica's challenges. On Point, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Welcome back to The Good Life. Well-groomed eyebrows can work wonders to the face. Here are some interesting facts on how to take care of them. It's the slowest growing hair on the human body. Protein-rich foods such as tofu and nuts strengthen the hair in your eyebrow. Washing the face with warm water after tweezing is not advised, especially if you have thin eyebrows, as hair follicles might loosen and fall out. We've already looked at using makeup for the brows on fleek effect. Now check out another new and effective trend for eyebrows.
I'm Tali Davis. I'm a licensed esthetician and the owner of the Lash Studio. Microblading is the newest trend for eyebrows. It involves using a pen-like device dipped in ink and then stroked into the skin. So you create hair-like strokes into the skin. With the tattoo, the normal tattoo, they use a machine. They just do one thing. It's like one line in the brow. And by the time you're finished, it's like a dark mass on the eyebrow. But with the microblading, it looks so natural. You can't tell which is your hair or which is strokes that were made into the skin. The microblading lasts 12 to 18 months. I think it is fairly new. It is around 2 years old, and it is mostly practiced in the States, in America, and in the European countries. It is hardly known in the Caribbean, to be honest, and it's really difficult getting it out there and for people to understand what it really is, because even when you explain it to them, they tend to not, go and do further research for themselves to get better understanding.
It is important to note that persons who have skin diseases like alopecia or hair loss from scars or chemotherapy, over plucking or thinning eyebrows may also be desirous to try the technique. Talia explains, though, that in Jamaica, the trend is mainly for beauty purposes.
One would desire to do microblading when they have, for example, they want a little more arched their brows. And for those who want to fully reconstruct their brows, like they're totally unhappy with the way it is. For those who have gaps in their brows, they can cover it with microblading as well, so it looks really natural. And for those who just don't have the time to get up every morning and draw on the brows with pencil or filling it with brow powder, it is best for the people who aren't really in tune with the whole makeup thing. The best advantage of getting your brows microbladed is that you wake up every morning feeling beautiful. You don't have to do anything. And I think, personally, it is boyfriend or husband proof, because, they don't really like the whole fake thing, the whole drawing in of brows, and, so doing something that looks really natural is accepted by them. Doing the procedure, sometimes it does get a bit painful. Even though the person is numbed at least 30 minutes before the procedure, it will get a little painful for the client. And he or she, they don't want to do it anymore, because I've had a client once who came in, and I did like 3 strokes in her brows, and she said that she can't manage it. I'm like, you just need to relax. It's gonna look great because the strokes look so great on her skin already. And she was like, no, she can't do this, and she have to go and check with her dermatologist if it's right for her. And I think having patience is one of the biggest things for me. And then it is having the whole artsy thing. You have to know how to draw the strokes. Like, not everybody, I have seen other microblading pictures, and the strokes aren't natural looking. Even though you have the pen and you know that the stroke shouldn't be too long and shouldn't be too short, some people just still don't know how to draw strokes to make them look natural. Biggest disadvantage of getting your brows microbladed is getting it performed by somebody who is not certified in the area, because you have to be certified in knowing proper sanitation. I mean, you're using needles into somebody's skin. You have to know that you have to change the needles. Each needle is single use, and the whole art of it, how you draw the stroke should not be too deep into the skin, because that can cause it to bruise and not heal properly. And somebody who's not trained wouldn't know that, you understand? Another reason, another disadvantage is that doing microblading, the stroke should not cross. And if they cross, that can cause infection. So each stroke should be to themselves, nothing should be touching. The cost is just one set price. Yes, it is one set price. Many a times people come in and they say that they only want ends, and if I can give them a discount because it's just the ends they want. And the answer is going to be no, because it's one set price, and the products itself, the inks and the pens and the numbing cream especially, they're expensive, so I have to just deal with one price. It doesn't matter how many strokes I put in, and it doesn't matter if you have no brows or if you have a lot of brows. It's just one set price. It's $25,000.
And that's the cost of beauty. Microblading, to be specific. Stay tuned to see the process of getting your eyebrows embroidered.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
As the end of the year draws nigh and the celebrations begin, let us add some magic to the festivities with our BATV Christmas mix. Why settle for blah when you can have fa la 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 la? 60 advertising spots, 10 cross spots. This $1.6 million package is all yours for only $45,000. Don't wait. Contact our sales team today and take advantage of this incredible offer. Our gift to you. BATV Christmas Mix. Offer valid until December 31, 2018.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life, highlighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life surrounds art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Having a corporate event, seminar, awards show, conference, products launch, workshop or expo? Business Access TV is here to showcase your event. Contact our sales department at 908-0919, 906-6357 or 908-2775 for more information. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Welcome back to The Good Life.
When a person calls for a microblading appointment, I usually do follow-up questions. I ask if they're pregnant, because pregnant ladies are not suitable for this procedure. I ask if they have keloid skin, because keloid skin bruise easily. I usually ask if they're using any blood thinners, example aspirin, because aspirin allows the blood to run more easily. And I usually advise them about the pain that they may feel as well, because it's not guaranteed that you won't feel no pain at all. And I let them know that this is a procedure where the results are semi-permanent and next week it won't go away. So if it's a case where I do the procedure and you don't like it, then you will have to wait at least 6 months before it really starts to fade. Even though I have never done a client and they don't like their brows. All my clients love their brows. First 30 minutes they're numbed with one numbing cream, and then after the first numbing they're numbed a second time with another numbing cream. And the numbing creams are usually really expensive. During the procedure, equipments that are used are the stainless steel pen, and the pen is about this tall, long, and there are needles at the end. So the needles are in a straight line, they're really small. And I use the inks. The inks are organic inks. It doesn't necessarily mean that plants are used to make these inks. It just means that the chemicals, the products that are used in it aren't as strong as the ones that are used to do normal tattoos. And the ink is one of the reasons why it is not considered to be permanent, because the ink is organic. So after a while it fades, and using the needles, the needle isn't pressed too deeply into the skin, so that is why it fades as well. Now that I've told you a few important things that you need to know about microblading, let's have a look at the procedure. As you can see, we already drew the outline for the brows, and the client has to light them before we can even continue. So this is the shape that she says that she likes. Little arch and nice and full. They won't be this full though, but this is basically the outline that we're working with today. Are you ready, Jody? I'm going to make one stroke, right?
Stroke after stroke after stroke may cause the client to bleed. This is normal, and a certified technician would still be able to continue to achieve the desired results.
As you can see, these are the strokes that were created in our skin. Natural looking. It feels tender, right? Like, yeah, stiff. For helps with the tenderness. And it's good with healing, but it's not really, doesn't work well with the ink for everyday use. So my aftercare tip is that my client uses coconut oil, organic coconut oil, for the brows, or nothing at all. My aftercare tip for my clients is that they try not to pencil their brows until a week later, and to use raw organic coconut oil. The follow-ups are done 4 to 6 weeks later. The brows take at least 25 to 30 days to heal, and that is why we do the follow-ups on the 5th or the 6th week. After this procedure, you can expect swelling. For some persons, it depends on the skin type, or you can see redness, and it lasts like an hour to 2 hours after the procedure. After the brows are done, they're yours, and you can take a picture, a selfie, at the same time. Clients usually see scalping at least a week after, and many call and say, oh, it's healing, but when the scalps are coming off, it looks like it's fading. It usually fades at that time, but it will get brighter as the weeks go by. As I've said, the cost for microblading is $25,000, and as you can see, I use inks, I use stainless steel pen. The inks are usually $40 to $60 US or euro as well, and the numbing cream is from $80 to $100 US, and I have to get a big one and a small one. So the small ones are $80, and the bigger numbing cream will come up to like $120 or so. The cost is justifiable. The products aren't sold in Jamaica. We have to order them online, and then shipping is a next cost as well. So I think it's reasonable. It's very reasonable, because in the States, the cost for microblading is like $800 to $1,000 US, and in Jamaica it's $25,000. And we are using the same products as the pro microbladers in the States and in the European countries, and getting the same results as well. Yes.
The procedure wasn't that bad, honestly. There was a little pain. The most is like hearing it being done, so then you get frightened within. You say like, okay, yes, it's being done, but it really wasn't that bad. Now I don't have to buy pencils and concealers and tweezers and all those stuff to like keep it on point. So now I just have to wake up, put a little powder and go. Beauty comes with pain, and you have to go through a little pain to be in the now. It's worth it.
Long as the beauty industry continues to thrive, there will be those who try to feel their best by looking their best, whether it's by using makeup or a more permanent fix. Getting the eyebrows on fleek is to many a big accomplishment. And you've watched The Good Life.
Violence against women is a violation of human rights. Its impact ranges from immediate to long-term physical, mental, and sexual consequences, sometimes resulting in death. It negatively impacts women's general well-being and can prevent us from